I'm Kayla. My husband is John. We have 3 children. Our oldest is Tucker, who is 4. Our middle is Bennett, who is 2. He has classic galactosemia. And then our youngest is Shiloh, and she is 7 months old, and she also has classic galactosemia. With Bennett, he was born, he was doing great. And then at 5 days old, we just began to notice he wasn't eating. I was breastfeeding. He was not eating well. He was like spitting up in large amounts, and it wasn't just normal spit up. And then we realized he hadn't had a bowel movement in an extended amount of time, and then his urine was just really concentrated. So we could just kind of tell that he was getting dehydrated and he was lethargic. We had had a child before, and it just felt so different. It just didn't feel normal. So we called our pediatrician, and right away they're like, we got to get you in. This isn't normal. This is not normal behavior. And because of the newborn screening that he had done in the hospital, we were already flagged for classic galactosemia. And our pediatrician got those results 15 minutes before we walked into the door. He came in and he looked me in the eye and he said, you have to stop breastfeeding your child. And I lost it because, you have these ideas or expectations of what you want. And when those don't get met, you're kind of left with just this feeling of grief and sadness. I had no clue what it was. My husband had no clue what it was. I mean, obviously we were shocked because our newborn baby, who's supposed to be, perfect and healthy and nothing's supposed to be wrong, it was just this big bomb. And if we didn't get this taken care of, he could die. Where his levels were, honestly, he shouldn't even really be here because his levels were some of the highest that our geneticists had seen ever. He had a very mild speech delay. When we noticed the first delay, we got him in speech therapy. He was in therapy for 8 or 9 months, and then he graduated out. His diagnosis was harder because it was just all new stuff. The Shiloh coming in wasn't necessarily harder. It just looks different for her because she's a female, because it affects females and males differently. So we're going to walk a different journey with her, because you're looking at your daughter who has the very high possibility of being infertile. That has been the hardest with her. So it's been different with Bennett's diagnosis. They're both equally hard, just a different hard. If it were not for the newborn screening, I don't know that I can confidently say Bennett would be here today. That test is how we knew what was going on. And if you know enough about galactosemia, you know that some of them just don't make it. So if we wouldn't have had that newborn screening test, I would have continued to breastfeed him. He would have continued to have gotten sick, and I can't say that he would be here. So for me, it's incredibly important because it can be life-saving.